Step 1, find the end that works like pulling a serger thread so that you can pull this string out and then take off this piece of plastic and this piece of plastic. Step 2, turn the bag over to this side. Use a ruler and measure 4 inches up in 3 places. 1, 2, 3. Then turn the ruler and draw a straight line from left to right and do this on the top and the bottom. And then cut those off. You'll have a strip that looks like that from the top and the bottom. Step 4, turn the whole bag inside out and make sure it's completely flat and that these fold lines are the same as the originals. Step 5, open up both of these and cut it one time. These are the handles for the bag. So, step 5. Step 6, fold the handle in half, then hold it. Use the back of your scissors to press the seam very firmly so that when you open, you can see the seam is pressed. Go all the way down both handles. Next step, you're going to fold the outside seam to the middle. Then you're going to press it down firmly. Go down the whole length of the handle on both handles. And then you will put the other side down, hold it, and press it down firmly to make sure that it's got a very good crease in it, so that when you fold it together like this, you see, it makes the handle. All right. Fold the top down. That's the side that's going to say Nutri-Beef. That'll be the top. Fold it down 1.5 inches, which is roughly just past your, that's like halfway to your middle finger. You can put a ruler inside, and as long as it's very close to 1.5 inches, that's fine. Measure the whole thing, and then you're going to hold it down and use the back of the handles again to press that seam right here very firmly here so that it makes a nice lamination. You're going to fold it down a second time. So this was the first time. See how it's right there at the edge? Second time, another 1.5 inches. And then press it, make sure the whole thing's even. Then go ahead and hold it down. Go with the edge of your scissors along the edge of the fabric. Very hard, one more time to make sure it's laminated down. Okay, all those things were day 1 in theory. Okay, if you have a Bernina, you're gonna set the stitch to roughly about number 4, between 3.5 and 4. Also, we used a piece of regular paper underneath this because it helps to build traction. And then if this is folded correctly, then that should be matching, right? Be sure you anchor the needle in before you start sewing. And then be sure and stop every so often. Oops. Oh, stop every so often. Also, this is a good speed for most students. Okay, sew the whole thing down and just keep adding a new sheet of paper. Once you've sewn both of the handles, you'll tear the paper away and tear it at an angle from one side, and then you'll switch to the other side and tear at an angle, and it should come off. Also, the setting to sew the handle, it turns out, I think maybe it was like a 3.5. Okay. Okay, next step. From this crease edge, from the fold, you're going to measure over 3 inches and 4 inches, and that is where the handle will be fitting in a little bit. Okay, so do that on both sides, this side, and this side, and this side. Start here at the crease. Use the hand wheel right here. Turn it towards you and anchor this into the plastic where the edge of the presser foot is by the edge here. Then you're going to tuck in, it's going to go all the way that far, so you tuck in the handle and then you pull it back and hold it straight and sew it down. Sew to the edge of the next mark. So here is our handle, and you have to follow the handle to make sure that you're holding on to the top. That was the top over there. Slide it in all the way. Fold it over, hold it, and sew. So the first part of the handle is sewed on this one side, and the second part. Sew all the way over to the crease. Make sure the needle is down in the machine, and then you're going to pull all of this to the other side. So you need this to be, that handle's got to get underneath there, but you need it to be where you can pull this all through. There. And now I can see my mark here, and I can see my mark here. And since my needle was in there, it kept it from going crazy. So do that. So now you've sewed back over to the new mark, and you're going to insert the handle here. Sew down and insert the handle here the way that you just did. Then you're going to get around to here and sew back to that stitch, and you'll back stitch right there. Okay, so the bottom one is completely finished in back stitch. So you're going to start at the same place on the crease. Be sure that your needle is down in there so you can try to keep this straight. And then a couple of things. This part is 4 levels thick of plastic. So if you're using a computer sewing machine or regular, and it gets to this part here and it slows down, you could do a couple of things. Start and stop the machine, but you'll have to reset this to the right setting. And or use the hand wheel to just give it a little bit of help by turning it forward to get over that hump. Now you're going to do the bottom seam of the bag. So anchor your needle. Also, be sure you're keeping this straight so you have room to work. If this pulls forward this way, it's going to do this, and you're not going to be able to have a straight line whenever you're sewing this in. So go ahead and sew forward, back stitch, and then go all the way across to the other side of back stitch. Make one more stitch. So this is double seam because this is going to be the bottom of the bag that these veterans who are homeless are going to be using, and make it be a 5/8 inch stitch. So then you're going to reach your arm in and go all the way, put it all the way down here so that you can get this to a point and get it flat, and do that on both sides so that you're prepared to do the next step, which is measuring. So here's the inside of the bag. Now this is the magic trick. You're going to measure down 3 inches and draw a little dot right there. And then you're going to take the ruler, and from where the seam is at, you should be able to be 3 inches, 3 inches, and then from this side from the seam 3 inches, and then draw that straight line, and that is going to be your seam line. You're going to do that on both sides. All right, last step. Turn the bag inside out. Put your finger down in the bottom and pull it up at the corners with your other hand so that you can be sure that all those corners are pressed out clean and crisp. And voila, you have a bag.